Be sure to subscribe to the Healthcare Security Cast so you don't miss a single episode. We're on multiple platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Audible, just about anywhere where you can listen to a podcast. For links to all of these sites, for links to join the Healthcare Security Cast community groups on LinkedIn and Facebook, or if you're interested in being a guest or being a sponsor, you can find all of this through one link. Check out our link tree at linktree/Brian Hamilton. That's linktr.ee/Brian, B-R-I-N-E, Hamilton. Again, that's linktr.ee/Brian Hamilton. And before we get into the show, I just want to thank our sponsors, 3D Network Technology. Reliability is our core value. Visit 3dnetworktechnology.com. And Genetech, delivering security strategies for healthcare. Visit Genetech, that's GENETEC.com. And also the Change Execution Group and 360 Life Transformations. Visit 360lifetransformations.com.
Welcome to the Healthcare Security Cast, the podcast dedicated to healthcare security, safety, and emergency management. If you are involved with a healthcare security program or desire to be, this podcast is for you. Join the conversation as we discuss the issues that matter to healthcare security professionals while leveraging the expertise of healthcare security thought leaders and experts in personal development. And now, here's your host, Brian Hamilton.
Welcome to the Healthcare Security Cast for Tuesday, February 23rd. I have the pleasure of being joined today by Sam Obregon. Sam, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Now, Sam is another one of the members of the outstanding team at Martin Luther King Community Hospital. So, Sam, I'm going to ask you, for everybody who's joining us today who doesn't know who you are, who is Sam Obregon?
To go back, Sam Obregon is a person who has come a long way within the industry, going back to graduated from high school, a high school sports athletic into wrestling, jumped into security straight just out of the broad, just to make some ends meet. Come to find out 18 years in the industry, I'm still in the industry itself and have strived to do better things within the industry.
Excellent. Now, I'm going to actually ask you to dive into your career a little bit. So 18 years, I'm sure you've had a lot of different experiences in different areas of the field. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey in the security industry?
Yeah, sure. So in the industry itself, it started back in 2001 in a big city, Long Beach, California, at a hospital, Memorial Care Medical Center. Started from there, gained a lot of knowledge within my years, was a line officer for about almost half of my stint there. I was at Memorial Care for about 16 years. So 8 years line officer. I was promoted to a corporal position. From a corporal position, I started diving deeper into the industry and found out there's just more in physical security than just wearing a uniform, wearing a baton, wearing pepper spray, wearing handcuffs. You have the technological standpoint, where there's the CCTV camera system, access control. My director at the time, Cruz, allowed me to dive as deep as I wanted to. Matter of fact, he actually pushed me and said, you need to learn this. So I was able to learn the CCTV camera system, what that all entails, the access control system, how that functions, how to troubleshoot. While being a corporal, I was actually diving a little deep into that. 6 months into that, I actually had an opportunity to become a full-time investigator for the Memorial Care system. So it had everything to do with reviewing CCTV camera system, access control, looking into different issues within the hospital or within the healthcare system, whether it come to disciplinary, whether it come to lost property, property damage, missing property. Not only that, again, diving deeper into the technological standpoint. So lasted from there. And then approximately about 2017, August that month, unfortunately, the department was disbanded and got an opportunity. Same person, Mr. Cruz, brought me over to Martin Luther King Jr. Community Hospital. Started there August of 2017. 2018, Joe decided to retire. In step Mark Reed and Jonathan Westall. Again, instrumental and allowing me and pushing me to learn more of the aspect from 2017 till current. I've gotten the opportunity from Mark Reed and Jonathan Westall to learn not only access control, but facial recognition, key management, sound intelligence, aggression detection, and learning more and how they all link together. So I am in the physical security aspect, but I also crossing over into the technological or IT aspect too as well. Was able to work together with our IT partners, and we still strive to integrate all systems. Our IT department is open to new technology. We just had pre-pandemic came up, we installed the body temperature scanners. We have approximately now 2. Dawa is one of the makers. We currently have a secondary one, which is the Panda Cam. Also detects body temperatures for pandemic. Presets are in there. Learn how to troubleshoot. That. Then now we have a third one. We're trial running, which is from ZK Tech, which is also a Dawa product. But a lot of knowledge. And again, I can't thank Joe, who's the foundation, but also Mark Reed and Jonathan Westall for allowing me and pushing me to learn more in the industry.
All right. Now, you touched on it a little bit, Sam, but throughout your career, you've had the opportunity to learn a couple of different areas in the industry. Mark Reed kind of described you as self-taught physical security expert, the subject matter expert for MLK at least. And it also kind of he said you're basically a jack of all trades and fill a lot of the gaps in the program. You do that on your own. Can you share some of your experiences and how it's contributed to your evolution as a professional today?
Yes, definitely. Just first and foremost, within the industry itself, what pushed me to being the subject matter expert or the jack of all trades was the communication with the vendors. So our vendors, I've been blessed to have vendors that are in the industry that teach the clients. So we have, going back to my Long Beach days, the vendor that I had there taught me how to troubleshoot from cameras. Funny story is I was on a rooftop learning how to shortcut a camera that had went out, and not only learning how to power cycle the camera. Not too many people in my role would learn or would even take that avenue on going on top of a rooftop to reset a camera. In that same instance, we had our access control system, a specific node that had physically went down, and it was placed in a lovely position, which was in an attic on the first floor, had a crawl space probably the size for a 140-pound person. Funny to share, Brian, I am probably over 200-pound person, so that's not something that is feasible for a person my size, but I decided to take it behind the horns. They said, you want to learn? Here's how you learn. Go to that specific board, go to the node, reset the node, push the reset button. So I physically had to use the ladder, go in an attic, crawl space, Superman or Spider-Man crawl for about probably a few feet, then ensure that my feet placement and my hand placement were in sturdy positions, not in the tile, because I was in the attic or in the ceiling area. Was able to reset the node, brought our access control system back on. The greatest thing with that is because it was our surgical unit and nobody had access to surgery rooms. Our med rooms inside of the surgical unit were basically non-existent. They were non-accessible to anybody. So we had to actually physically, manually open them with pharmaceuticals and medication in a unsecured area is not ideal. So learn how to do that. Currently at MLK, working with our current vendor, self-teaching or teaching the client, myself, how to troubleshoot our camera system, how to troubleshoot our access control system. Working with our IT department, our IT brothers hand in hand. I am basically the liaison from the department that works with IT, not only with our access control system, our CCTV camera system, and how that integrates together, our key management system, which was brought in, which also integrates with our access control system. We have our sound aggression, which not only detects gunshots, it detects a person who is either aggressively yelling or octaves. If octaves get to a certain point, it actually pinpoints and sends off an alert in our Genetech system. All of these avenues were allotted to me, so I took it upon myself, and yes, I taught myself how to troubleshoot. The key management system went offline. Instead of running like any normal person would do straight to our IT department, I took it upon myself, hey, how can I troubleshoot this? I was able to get it back online and become basically, yeah, what Mark said, the jack of all trades. Takes a lot out of my day, but sometimes it takes a little bit too much out of my day, but it's the knowledge that I've learned throughout the years in healthcare. And it's not just about physical security. It's diving deep into the technological aspect, which I think intrigues me a lot.
Excellent. Now, I'm sure just by virtue of the places that you've worked and the experience that you've gained, that you've had some pretty good mentors that you've learned a lot of things from. Who are some of your mentors, and what are some of the lessons that you learned from them?
In the healthcare industry, first and foremost was Joe Cruz. Joe was the first one to always, the lessons I learned from him was learn from your mistakes, stay humble, always remember where you came from, but also learn. Keep learning. Never stop learning. And Joe's famous saying, never stop, don't stop, keep going. So Joe's probably, I could say, is my foundation to where I am in healthcare now. I'll take jumping forward to MLK with Mark Reed and Jonathan Westall. Mark Reed pushing me to be better, don't be average, don't stay stagnant. And Mark's famous saying is, I'm not trying to push you out, but I want you to be better. I want you to excel. Jonathan Westall always saying, my doors are always open. If you need to pick my brain, you need to have a conversation, you want to take these courses, I will point you in the right direction. I will support you. This is the first medical center I've worked at where they're very MOK, Mark Reed and Jonathan Westall are very high. They're taking high regards education, certifications. Because of them, I was able to be certified in the Genentech system. Not even integrators or people within the security industry, not even some vendors are not certified in the Genentech system. So that attributes to both them, Mark Reed and Jonathan Westall. If it wasn't for them and pushing the issue and being open, Jonathan Westall can't say enough for an executive. You would think once you see an executive or a vice president of ancillary services, you would think they would be so close-minded. It is the total opposite. Jonathan's very open-minded, always willing to talk to you, says hi, good morning, how you doing, how's the day, and just brings light to your day,
Yeah, that's awesome stuff. Now, yeah, I know two of those guys really well, like Mark Reed, for example, Jonathan Westall, both of them been on the podcast. I've been able to spend time with both of them, both fantastic guys. But the one who I don't know that I feel like I do know is Joe Cruz, because I've had Jesse Hernandez on who spoke about Joe Cruz. I've had Harving Para on, another couple of guys that you also know who both worked with Joe Cruz. What was it like working with Joe?
I had the opportunity to both work with Jesse Hernandez first, and then with Harving to follow after Jesse succeeded and went outward within the industry. Joe, I can probably say, is probably the special individual. There's only one Joe. Joe was always putting everybody else first before him. Joe put himself first, or not himself first, put you first and him back on the back burner. Joe never took credit for anything. It was always the team did it, or he puts you out there in the light. So that way you got the recognition. Joe was always proud of his team. Joe never and fought to the end for his team. Again, the foundation for who I am today is Joe. Can't say enough for him starting the foundation for me within the industry, but Joe has left an imprint, not only of myself, but you've had Jesse Hernandez, who is a former coworker of mine, and also Harving Para, who is a former coworker of mine. But Joe had an engine like nobody else. He put most 20, even people in their early 20s to shame. Work ethic, second to none. First went in the door, 3:30 in the morning. Last went out, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. And everybody knew him in the city of Long Beach. If you ever visit Long Beach, California, you mentioned the name Joe Cruz. Probably everybody on every block probably will tell you who Joe Cruz is.
That's amazing. Yeah, his name keeps coming up. So, like I said, I feel like I know Joe Cruz, even though I've never met him. But yeah, the stories about him picking up cigarette butts from the lobby, at showing up at 3 a.m., making sure that he saw all shifts. That's all, amazing leadership. So you've been blessed with some of the people that you've worked with, not only just the leaders, but you've had some great colleagues as well.
Definitely. And that I let my team know too as well, and try to set the example for my team so that way they can emulate what I do. That I see as fitting just from the leadership I've had from Joe, again, to currently to Mark and Jonathan. That's probably my way of giving back, is emulating that to my team. And that way my team can follow the lead moving forward if I move on within the industry. So that way Mark always says next man up, but in a good way, because Mark, again, pushes you to get better, to be better, not to stay stagnant or stay in the same position.
Absolutely. All right. Now, I want to dive back into your experience with different technologies, because you mentioned you've been in the field for 18 years, and that's been a lot of your focus. So working in a few different facilities and having experience with some of the older technologies versus some of the newer stuff, what have been some of the experiences that you've had just with different technology and how it's evolved over the years?
Funny you say that. First diving into the industry, when I first started healthcare, our access control system, to back that up, we used a floppy disk. So how ancient that is, and I don't even know if they still make floppy disk anymore. Going into that, our CCTV camera system was analog. And analog at that time was the best of the best. You couldn't get any better than analog camera. Camera systems, I started out first in the industry with a system called dedicated micros. That was the best out there at that specific time. That unfortunately was phased out. And then we moved into DVTEL and ExactVision, which were getting more modernized. So with those modernizations come, guess what? Better cameras than analog cameras. So we started diving deeper into the IP cameras. IP cameras were different beasts, because now bandwidth is an issue now, because now you have to have an infrastructure that can sustain bandwidth. So jumping into the IP cameras. Now with the current system, with the Genetec system, I also, prior to Genetec, at MLK, we had a CCTV camera system, which was the ONSSI system. Again, IP-based, very little analog to, if not any analog cameras. Also, we use access communications. So I jumped from DVTEL to ExactVision to cameras now that were based from access communications. Access communications has pushed forward in the industry and evolved with different types of cameras. They have a current one we just used, which is literally a quarter of a pancake, but it's 180 degree view we've installed in our hallway that catches not only one part of the corridor, but catches the second part. So 2 cameras, one on each end. Very high tech, but also not really too distinctive. So if you look up, you see it, oh, that's a camera. Very small, very intriguing, but also catches angles. And even if you position it at a different angle, you can catch a lot of stuff. The key management system, at my prior employer, when I worked in Long Beach, all you had to do was enter a code and enter your unit number, and you got your keys assigned to you for the day. Now at MLK, we have the key management system that's tied into our access control system. Shows how that came prior years to current status now, how that's modernized. And that works off of our badging system. Cell intelligence, voice aggression came into play very big once unfortunate incidents occurred, active shooter events, aggression detection. Now with the Genetec system, and that's integrated within the Genetec system, it can read octave, so it can distinctify between a desk slamming on the ground or a gunshot going off. Also aggression or detection, when a person is elevated or upset, it detects the octaves. Once the octaves hit a certain point, an alert pops off in the Genetec system and goes to that specific camera. Very modernized itself. God, what else? Everything else, our current new toy that we have there, call it a toy, which is our facial recognition system, which is from Alcatraz. The Alcatraz system is very intriguing, to where you have your face that can be read, similar to your iPhone. Takes that system, puts it into a small little device that's mounted onto the wall, detects your face, and can allow you to access the door to the access control system. Very distinctly too as well, if you're a twin and you have a twin or triplets, this system is also very smart, to where it can distinctify between those two, whether it be a simple marking on your face, facial hair, any type of distinctive attribute you have, whether it's one twin has a different nose than you have. And if you're not the person that was inputted into the system, it will not allow you access into the door. Glasses, if you're wearing glasses, if you're wearing a mask, the Alcatraz system has that setting to where it can read with mask or without mask. Pre-pandemic and now current pandemic now, and which definitely helps out our infrastructure. We've actually placed that in all of our IDF rooms, which house all of our infrastructure, which again, even more secures our infrastructure to where now it creates that Fort Knox atmosphere to where you really have to break into the vault in order to get into our system there.
Excellent stuff. Now, you mentioned a lot of the vendors there that you've been leveraging, and you actually referred to this earlier, how the vendors have been helpful in the educational process, helping you learn how to troubleshoot. Is there any specific training or specialized training that you've done with your vendors? I know you did mention with Genetech, but is there any other ones, or do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Training wise is all within my time in the industry has all been hands-on. So I've been in the thick of things, getting dirty, learning how to program systems, learning how to troubleshoot issues when they go offline. Not too many people in my position have learned when the camera goes offline, how to bring it back online. When our access control system, when a certain panel goes down, how to do a simple thing as reset the panel to bring that system back on. Our key management system was offline, and looking into it, since I am the administrator for the key management system, logging in, looking into both boxes and seeing, hey, well, one's offline. How do I get that back online? Troubleshooting that. A lot of my time has been hands-on, learning the product, how it functions. I take pride in the education portion of the learning the product. That's what helps me immensely. And currently under Mark Reed, any new product that's been allowed or allotted to our department, he basically says, Sam, here you go. Learn it, whatever training you need, you got it. Learn the product. Let me know how it turns out. I've been blessed in the way to learn all different products from the Alcatraz facial recognition, to sound intelligence, to the aggression detection, to the tracker key management system, and all the way down. So I've learned basically all of that through being self-taught. So again, I can't say it enough. It goes back to my leadership and how I progressed.
That's amazing stuff. And yeah, I guess let's just keep talking about the technology a little bit. I'm curious, as far as the technology you worked with, what are some of the things that have most interested or excited you in terms of the future development of that technology? So what are some of the things that you're really interested in seeing happen?
Actually, just even learning just recently with the Alcatraz system, they are now inputting a microphone into the Alcatraz facial recognition system to where we can treat it as if it is a monitor. So that way we can see the person outside instead of using our access control system or a different type of monitoring device to see outside and inputting more software, or not inputting more software, but inputting more devices like a speaker outside and an additional camera to see the person outside. Now through the Alcatraz facial recognition system is all in one, to where they have a microphone, and it's basically a web-based product. You download the software onto a regular PC. Once a person presses the speaker button or looks at the facial, or what's called the rock, it gives you an alert automatically on the other side, and you could interact with the person, allow the person into the door, as simply as that. That interests me a lot. That shows how technology is going to the next level. Access communications, every few months is coming out with something new. Cameras, extremely amazing. The camera I explained a minute ago, to where it was a quarter of a pancake. Very detailed, but also to the images that come out from there. A very sharp, a wide angle image. So you can see not only a portion of the corridor, but straight all the way down and seeing all attributes in the corridor. I mean, our key management system, integrating with the access control system, just everything in general in technology, integrating together, but also to partnered on the physical security side aspect, but also partnering with the IT, with the technological side, working together. Nowadays, even moving forward, I believe we're pushing more onto the technological side. So it's not only about the physical side, but it's also to learning the technological side, because that's where we're headed to. Shoot, you have Alcatraz, who has the software that's similar to an iPhone. Everybody has an iPhone. Very few percentage of people don't have iPhones, but you have that facial recognition system on your iPhone. And to use it to integrate with the access control system, it just intrigues me in what's next out there, whether it be aggression detection, any form of aggression detection, access control systems. I've worked with the same access control system for years, but the AMAX system has been great. But I'm sure there's other things out there that the competitors other competitors out there that are working to strive to be that next level. So that intrigues me the most, to see what's out there, what new product is out there. As you see at MLK, we strive ourselves on technology. That's where I think also my hunger comes from, is learning all aspects of the technological side, so that way we can be front of the game.
Excellent. So you mentioned IT being an important stakeholder, and I have to agree with you, obviously, in this area. But what has your experience been working with IT in terms of collaboration?
IT with collaboration wise has been great. You have to, and nowadays, especially again with technology, there has to be that relationship there, to where you can communicate to them. Our IT department also has taken the opportunity, and again, I've been blessed in a way too as well, to where they've showed me the tricks of the trade. They've allowed me to learn different attributes on the technological side, whether it be with the PC, as easy as restarting the PC. A simple thing with a lot of people don't really do. Learning those attributes from our IT team, which has been great. And at MOK, they pulled me in and they've treated me just like one of their own, which is great in the way, because now I sort of am being bred to be in a crossover, again, from the physical security side to our IT side. They've working collaboratively with our infrastructure with different products too as well. Learning how those products we cannot allow third-party products or even products that are made in different parts of the world. Ensuring that they have the right cybersecurity certification. Again, nowadays, especially with cyber, is now the new thing, to where anybody can compromise any type of system. But the new products out there coming with the new technology and learning that cyber side, how the product cannot be infiltrated. Once you infiltrate a new product that's been introduced into healthcare, once you get into your infrastructure, there's pretty much so many different avenues, so many different hallways, so many different tunnels that can be compromised in the healthcare industry. And that has been put in the forefront, especially nowadays. A few years back, other healthcare facilities were held captive by people who took over their infrastructure. Working with our IT team and learning how to be safe while implementing new products, I think has been a great learning tool for me and teaching tool, to just not say, hey, here's a new product. Okay, let's just throw it in. Let's download it and let's see what it does. If we did that for every little thing, all it takes is any low-grade hack to just come in, and now they've infiltrated our infrastructure. Now they hold us captive. Now that hack can say, I want X amount of dollars, or else I will wipe your system clean. That is the worst nightmare for any healthcare system or any person in the industry. So learning that to be safe, also learning the cyber side, which is great. I actually got to sit in a meeting, which is pretty extreme meeting with our IT applications team and the FBI, learning that different side to not only keep an eye on the infrastructure, but ensuring that anybody is trying to hack into our infrastructure from the outside. Our guest Wi-Fi is pretty much inseparable, like our infrastructure. It's very hard to compromise the infrastructure. Learning the term infrastructure and what that means is great. Learning how an infrastructure is created through your switches, through different ports within the healthcare industry. And again, I've been blessed to have leadership, not only leadership, but also the correlation with the IT department to allow me to learn and to flourish in the industry, which again, I can call myself a crossing over from the physical side to the technological side. So it really intrigues me on the relationship, keeping the relationship going. I think now we're moving forward into an IT-based physical security system, which works hand in hand with our IT department, with any IT department per se. Not only working with them, but working in the industry with anybody on the technological side, ensuring your infrastructure is secure and not able to be compromised. That's what I take from relationships, but also learning experiences with the IT department.
Excellent. Now, for someone else who wants to become, I guess, as you put it, that crossover, the person who wants to take what they've learned from being in a frontline role and learn really more about that technology, what advice would you offer them?
Basically, the advice I would offer them is to have an open mind, be a sponge. Learn all you can learn, not just say, okay, I've learned 3 things and I'll be good for another 5 years. And then 5 years down the line, then I'll learn another 2 more things. Be that sponge. Absorb as much information as you can in the industry. Getting out there. This past 2 years ago, I was able to attend GSX. That was overwhelming, to say the least, with how many people were in the industry, how many different items are out there, how much in the technological world items are being either one, implemented, 2, the competitors out there are making their product better, and 3, new competitors coming out there with better product that can do the same thing, if not more. But I also learned too is that doing it the safe way, taking the information you've learned from anybody in the specific forte or any specific department, taking what they've taught you and learn to do it the safe way. Don't be reckless. You start implementing different things, and again, you can be compromised. But the important thing is taking the information in, taking as much as you can at once. That will be your succession or your road to succession.
Excellent. Now, we've covered a few topics here. Is there anything I haven't asked you yet that you would like to discuss?
No, I think, as you can see, I'm very passionate in not only the physical security side, but also the technological side. I think we've covered basically everything within both fields. And I can't stress it enough to anybody within the physical side. It's not just about the physical security. It's also to the technological side. And again, at MOK, we strive ourselves on being the leader in both sides, especially in the technological side. We've shown within the industry that we can be top of the line. Anybody out there within the industry, anything you can learn, but also to be that sponge, learn new things, learn new products coming in. Again, I've been blessed enough through my leadership to have leadership to allow me to do so and push me to do it. Hopefully there's that person out there that listens, and that is the new version, that can be the new version of me, or even be better than me, be better. It's probably the best thing, anything I can say is always strive to be better.
Excellent. Now, what can we expect from you in the future?
In the future, whatever comes my way, I will learn. I'm continuously learning, and you never know what will come your way, whether it be certifications. I'm always willing to learn and always looking for the next best thing. That'll also put MOK out there to be that leader in the technological side.
Excellent. And as we start to wrap up, do you have a special message you'd like to share with the Healthcare Security Cast community?
Yeah, I learned a lot from everybody in the industry. I've been blessed enough to get to know people within the industry. Through my leadership, again, I've met people in the industry. You never know how small of a world it is until you start meeting people within the industry. I've been blessed enough to meet people not only in the States, outside of the States, and different countries. In different countries, share experiences, share ideas. I learn new things from everybody every single day within the industry and within the healthcare field. I'm out there. If anybody's willing to, or anybody needs ideas or willing to share any ideas within the industry, when it comes to the technological side, I'm open ears. My leadership is open ears, and then maybe sharing the information sharing, and see what happens from there. Make our industry a better industry than what it is today.
Excellent. And you kind of touched on their relationship building and networking. What's the best way to get in contact with you?
2 different ways to get in contact with me: LinkedIn through my first name, Sam and Obregon. Also through email, SOB as in boy, REGON @mokch.org. 2 simple ways to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Sam. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me, and thank you again.
And this concludes another episode of the Healthcare Security Cast. The Healthcare Security Cast is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music and Audible, and many other platforms as well. Check out our Linktree on your computer or mobile device. And this can be found at linktree/Brian Hamilton. That's linktr.ee/Brian, BRINE, Hamilton. Again, that's linktr.ee/Brian Hamilton. Or if it's easier, send me a text at 647-372-2042. That's 647-372-2042. and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have or share any links you may be looking for. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, take care and stay safe.